So making sure we have time for everything that we have here. So what we learned from this year's survey, from talking to best in class respondents, from talking to clients of ours, from interviews that we've conducted, and from the community, the AP community in general here, is that certain things need to be done in order to achieve success. And so, first and foremost, we need to take a step back and understand, take a look at the past year and a half or 2 years and understand what caught AP off guard, what we were prepared for, what weren't we prepared for, how did we respond, was that the right response? So it's important to do this, not only from an AP perspective, but also understand what your users of the AP function, and that's, as I mentioned, that's everybody else. That's the line of business, that's procurement, that's IT, that's your suppliers. Talk to them and ask them, what did we do well? Where could we improve? Because once you have that in place, then you can start working on a plan to fix some of these things and to make sure that when uncertainty strikes again, and one thing we're certain of is that more uncertainty will happen in the future. So you want to be prepared for it as best as possible. Second is, did you have a disaster recovery plan in place when disaster struck and when everybody was forced to work from home with all the mandates that were put into place? Some organizations did, many organizations did not. If you didn't have one specifically for the AP function, I highly recommend considering developing one for you. And then as you develop this plan, make sure that you're reviewing it on a regular basis, and that basis may be 6 months and maybe annually, to make sure that it's up to date and things have changed and you're adopting the plan as technology changes and as your business changes as well. Many organizations, there's a large consumer product goods organization out there that I talk to that everyone would be familiar with. I mentioned their name. That said, for the past 20 years, they've had a disaster recovery plan in place and actually encourage and require their employees to work from home 1 day a month, so that should they be ever had the need to work from home on a more regular basis, they are prepared for it. That served them well. So make sure you have a disaster recovery plan in place. Scott and I have mentioned this numerous times, but AP is sitting on a wealth of information. Make sure that AP is sharing that information and sharing the data it has with the rest of the organization, because that's the opportunity to continue to improve the perception that AP has within the organization. And as you provide more information that's used by more constituents within the organization and outside, a funny thing is going to happen. It's kind of this, catch-22 situation. The more information you provide, the more information they're going to want, the better perception it is of AP. And so it's this kind of continual effect there. So as you provide more information, the perception of AP is going to increase because you're going to provide better and more information as time goes on here. Something that happens in some organizations but is not uniform across the board is make sure you're investing and taking time to train your AP staff. They need to understand not only how they can do the AP function better, but also what does the full P2P cycle look like? What's importance on B2B payments? How can we mitigate fraud? What to look for in fraud? There's many different areas that you can train your staff on. If you don't have a plan in place for that, please consider putting one in place, because we want to make AP an attractive place to work, and AP is going to be more attractive if the people that work there believe that you're investing in them and their future, and it's not just a place where someone goes to handle paper and shuffle paper and improve things around. But as you start training folks, they become more proficient and you get more value out of them, and so it serves everyone better. There's better employee morale. They believe they're valued as an employee, and as employees are valued more, they add more value to the organization. Don't settle for just, hey, we brought in an automation tool and call it a day. That's the baseline. That's the starting point here. As I mentioned, AP automation is a journey. It's not a destination. So yes, we need to start somewhere. We need to bring the tools in. We need to start looking at some of the basic processes. But as we're doing that and as we start hitting our milestones, keep moving those milestones and keep looking for continual improvement here. There's a wealth of information, a wealth of value that's been largely untapped within AP. Figure out how you can unlock that, provide that to the rest of the organization. And then the past year and a half, as we've mentioned a number of times, has provided AP with more visibility and more prominence, if you will, within the organization. And the perception of AP has never been higher. Seize on this moment. Strike while the iron is hot. We've all heard that term there, that saying there. If you're looking to automate, if you're looking to hire, if you're looking to get raises for your people to increase the budget, now is a great time to do it, because in the eyes of the C-suite, they understand the value that AP brings, and it's best to ask for something when the perception is at the height or the highest it's been, perhaps ever within your AP department. So don't let this opportunity go by its way. Don't say, yeah, we're going to do this in a couple of years. Think about doing things now, because now is a great time to do it. So with that, Scott, anything that I've missed that you'd like to add as far as strategies for success that you've worked with in your career and with your clients, or anything else you'd like to comment on here?
Yeah, I think this is, we ask a lot of, or I guess we're asked a lot of times, what can we do in accounts payable to make things better? What's a good strategy? And you can kind of see it from your market research. I don't know if we just have a minute or so, but just click back to slide number 22. This is insightful, and I think it's helpful to maybe even end on what we share with a lot of groups is look for a partnership, an organization that is really good with a supplier portal. If you look at the yellow, the plan to use within 2 years, you can see the two largest are self-service portal at 35%, and then electronic invoicing solution at 30%. So most people are identifying this, and they're recognizing, okay, in order to achieve some of these best-in-class outcomes, I need to add something a little more robust and rigorous to my overall automation package solution. As Bob mentioned, journey. Part of that journey is get a good portal, and everybody will tell you they've got a portal, but it's a partnership. Being able to have an organization that is used to onboarding, helping suppliers to onboard, is used to that supplier connection and communication, is used to helping you really in a partnership, not just provide the tools and technology, but the process to engage those stakeholders. When suppliers get in and they're comfortable, it's a change management process. By no means are we saying this is going to be easy, but you will see how effective your invoicing experience becomes, not just for you, but for the entire community of invoicing, your internal and external stakeholders. So we would just put that plug in there that you look for somebody that's really good that you can partnership with and make your electronic invoicing be what gets you to that best in class.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point, Scott. Onboarding suppliers is something we didn't kind of go into in depth here, but just having a solution doesn't mean that your suppliers are going to be using that solution. So as you mentioned, it's a change management process that's there. And the more suppliers that you have using your portal, submitting invoices electronically, gaining information through that portal, will reap huge benefits for your organization there. And so the self-service supplier portal, we talked about the number of inbound inquiries to AP and the amount of time that AP spends on it. And the average time for all others was almost 25%. With a self-service supplier portal, rather than picking up the phone or sending an email, they can go to the portal and find out that information as well. And so there's, it's serving many benefits, as you said, and finding a solution provider that has experience, not only with the supplier portal, because as Scott said, there's a lot of supplier portals out there, but what kind of engagement do they have with their suppliers actively using that portal is really more important. What kind of experience do they have? What kind of experience do the suppliers have in the onboarding process? Are all critical to the process here. But as Scott showed here or mentioned, that 35% plan to adopt the technology within 2 years. That's because people are starting to understand that the old ways are not tenable going forward there.
Excellent.
So with that, I think we're kind of at our full hour here. I'm going to go to the end here, and there's contact information. If you had a question that we didn't get to, we apologize. We will address it afterwards. If you'd like to receive a copy of the presentation, please reach out to Scott or the team at iPayables. Scott's information is on the screen here, and he'll be happy to share not only the presentation with you, but he also has a copy of the State of ePayables report, which he can share with you as well. So if you want to see, the full report, and what we touched on today was really just scratching the surface of what we covered in the report. But please, reach out to Scott and the iPayables team to request that presentation and that research report, and they'll be happy to share that with you. So on behalf of Ardent Partners and myself, Bob Cohen, I wanted to thank you for your time today. Hopefully you found this worthwhile. We covered quite a lot of information, a lot of ground. And as I said, you can see Scott and I are passionate about this, and we could probably talk for hours amongst ourselves, but we contained ourselves to just an hour here. And so, Scott, it's a pleasure working with you, and thank you, and everybody enjoy the rest of your day.
Excellent. Thank you, Bob. Sure appreciate it.